Hello? Hello, is that you, Paul?
Oh, Nick. Nick, is that you?
Hello, yeah.
Oh, well, what a coincidence. It's funny. I was going to ask you if you'd like to be a guest on my podcast. Is that something you'd be up for?
I'd be absolutely delighted. I don't think I've got anything on.
Well, good. Well, get yourself into a dressing gown and then we'll speak.
There's so many people to talk about, so many TV programs to talk about, so many projects to talk about.
Yeah, that sounds like it'll be more than one episode at this rate.
Oh, yes.
Well, let's get talking, yes?
Yeah, let's get talking.
Hello, well, we've not spoken since I got back from Amsterdam. I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm quite glad that I managed to record quite a lot of footage before I was feeling unwell, and had the time to record a bit at the end as well. So, yes, well, at least I came away with a complete episode and lots of photos and ideas. It wasn't the best holiday by any means, but it wasn't the worst, I suppose. Well, at least I came away with something, as I say. What have I been up to since then? Well, mainly back at work. I'm trialing a CPAP machine at the moment. I don't breathe that well when I sleep, so I'm getting on fine with it. I'm always been one for a prop, so getting to wear a mask and stuff is more exciting than one would think, really. I'm sure the novelty will run out, but if it helps with my breathing, then good. And I was the only person. The day when I picked up the machine, we were shown how to use it in front of about 10 of us that were getting machines, and I was the only one who had to have a machine that covered my mouth and nose. Yeah. So I'm especially bad at breathing. Yes, I don't tend to breathe through my nose, I tend to breathe through my mouth, which is sometimes evident, I think, probably when I'm recording whilst I'm walking. But, no, my nose is a bit rubbish, to be honest. So, well, at least I've got it. My face would look a bit strange without my nose, but... So, yes. So I'm trialling that, and it's doing all right, and I've got an extra special mask like no one else has got. Well, that's not true, but nobody else in that room on that particular day. Yeah. That makes me feel a lot better, I can tell you. Anyway, well, let's get on with the episode. There's all sorts of things coming up as usual. I've got ideas for episodes throughout the summer, and various different people who've said they'll come on the show. So that's good. And also a few more trips away, which should be interesting. So let's see, before we know it, we'll be in double figures. Yes. So, yes, here we go. Right, moving on. Now, I've told you a few stories about working in libraries, and I have been accused of exaggerating certain stories, but I if you think that, fair enough. But I do have a story that definitely did happen. It's not got any sort of definite resolution, but it's more what I was asked to do that was particularly strange. I had a phone call from a member of the public saying that they had, I can't remember what the circumstance was now, but they'd witnessed a past life regression, and the person had claimed that they were a certain soldier, and had given certain details, and I think the caller may have been a newspaper, like a journalist, and anyway, they just wanted a little bit of research to see if any of these facts made sense or could possibly be true. And I was able to look back in the army lists, and yeah, some of the things tallied, some of the things made sense, but not really enough to definitely say, hey, yeah, this is really weird, or, you know, how did you know this? So yeah, I could only say what I could definitely identify, and never heard any more about it. But it's definitely an inquiry that stuck with me. I wouldn't mind a few more like that, actually.
Hello, it's me, Tammy S. Twinklehorn. I can't stay long. I'm on a film set. I was supposed to be doing another movie. It was called Death on a Low Budget. I was due to be playing the policeman's cat, but anyway, they ran out of money. They couldn't even afford me, and I said I'd do it for free. Anyway, so I didn't do that film, but I'm working on one at the moment called Curse of the Undead Milkman. I play a bottle of milk. Yeah, I've never done that before. It's different. And, anyway, I've got to go because they're about to do filming. I need to go to makeup. Just trying to channel what it's like to be a bottle of milk. Kind of creamy. Yeah. Okay, more later. Bye now. Bye-bye.
Well, I'm terribly sorry, but this episode I had hoped to be speaking to my old friend Nick, and seems to have been stuck on the bus. I'm not sure. Hoping that he'll make it soon, but it's hard to say quite how long it'll take him to get here. But some of you will know that I used to make an ad-lib spoof video show called Sutton Park back in the 90s, with a brief reboot around 2010, which episodes can be found on YouTube under Mr. Shayeti, along with my poetry videos. But Sutton Park started off as a spoof soap sketch alongside a lot of other sketches I was doing at the time for the first show I did, called Beaches Broadcasting Company. Now, you will possibly have heard, or will hear soon, we discuss Sutton Park, Beaches Broadcasting, as we bump into different people along the way during the show. Now, it would take me far too long to explain Sutton Park, but what I can tell you is, obviously, we made about 3,000 episodes, and they weren't standard length episodes. Some of them were 10 minutes, some of them, you know, once we got to major episodes like episode 100 or episode 1,000, we'd do a movie length episode or some such special length episode. So, yeah, when I say we did over 3,000 episodes, they're all sorts of different lengths, and they all, well, I hope, still exist, but in VHS format tape. Now I'm beginning to, along with my friend Nick, get these tapes converted. It's you know, we should have done this ages ago, but we've I mean, Nick's been encouraging me, and I should have listened to him sooner. And but we have got various episodes already converted, but it was him sort of saying, "Come on, you must save some of this." But we'd do a little bit here. Well, as of now, I've decided, as of the last few weeks, months, I bought myself a drive which I will dedicate to Sutton Park, and rather than putting what footage we convert onto DVDs, we're going to save them as digital files on the drive, and I'm going to do a lot more with them. Now, the long and the short of this is that when I was tidying up some boxes over the weekend, I found some of those earlier DVDs that we'd done, and I'd been taking screenshots. The episodes I was watching were from almost exactly 20 years ago, from May 1996, during a time when I finished university, and I'd had a job, a temporary job for 6 months, and then I had to wait. The next job I was going to do, I had to wait for quite a long time for security clearance, so I had to go back to my parents. So I went back to my parents for about 2 months, and it was in the summer. It was May, June 1996, lovely weather, and I didn't have to really do anything. I could go filming every day I liked. And so there's some of these episodes were the episodes I filmed then, quite randomly, because when we were converting them, Nick and I, I was just grabbing tapes and Nick was just converting bits. We were just choosing selections, and so yes, I've been taking a few screen grabs. I don't actually have that many photos of myself from around that time, although I was in other friends' video projects around that time. It was before digital cameras, and I did go through a stage where I used disposable cameras, so you never could be sure exactly what was going to come out when you took photos with those. So in a way it's quite nice. They're not the greatest photos in the world, but it's quite nice to have some photos that I can put on my blog or do things with from that era, because as I say, I didn't really have that many. I was just watching a few little clips. I think they were from episode 1200, which that's around the same sort of time, May, June 1996. And I'm just going to play you a couple of sound files from that particular episode, because it kind of shows the ad-lib nature of Sutton Park, and how we would just make things up as we went along, or a friend would bring a prop and we'd just ad-lib around that, and it was just a total lark. But we, watching it now, I'm sure I don't think it's just me. I think some of the lines, some of the things we say are quite silly. Now, the first clip I want to show you, I am acting, but you won't be able to see me, obviously, but there will be two voices in this clip. One of them is me playing a character called Crispin, who on screen appears as a puppet, like a dinosaur, or you think he was a dinosaur. It's hard to tell what he was meant to be, but anyway, I had two models of that used to appear as Crispin. One was just wearing normal clothes, and one, my friend Lee, he did him up with really flamboyant sort of Julian Clare-esque costume. Anyway, Crispin is in this scene, and I'm playing Crispin, so I'm doing the stereotypical voice, but he was a very flamboyant character, and back in 1996, it was a step to even being having some sort of gay character in something I was doing, even though he was a dinosaur. And so this conversation is between Crispin and a character called Mr. Trowbridge, who is played by my friend Andrew Trowbridge, who always played a sort of eccentric version of himself, even more eccentric version in the nicest possible way of himself, because Andrew in real life is a scientist, so he'd often play a version of himself. And so in this scene, Crispin and Andrew are discussing some plot that has been going on, and how the world is threatened by what has been happening.
We missed him going. He's gone.
What?
He's done.
What's done?
I think that flash must have stunned you for a second. You're quite quiet. It's gone. It's gone. He's closed it all down.
That elephant?
Yep. He wasn't just any elephant, I'll have you know.
Oh, dearie me.
He was Amethyst.
Well, he did save my life.
He was a good, strong, Amethyst type person.
How do you know that?
Best elephant I've ever known.
How many elephants have you known?
None, but he's a good start anyway.
Wow.
You've got to send Paul a message to say you're okay, but I'll go up there and see how he is anyway. It's episode 1200, isn't it?
Not going to build another of those things.
No.
Before that.
No, it's probably a good idea.
I think that theory was just too full of holes, well, as you saw.
From what Paul told me, we got a bit carried away.
Well, yeah, you know what they say about power? I mean, I had
Power corrupts.
I had the power over that planet, and there I was, blowing it up.
Just a minute, if power corrupts, what does that mean to people like the electricity board who've got lots of power?
Well, they're very corrupt, actually, because they sent us a bill for £50. They far too much money last time, and they got all the damn interest on that. And
awful.
Yeah.
What about your plans for the planet? Is everything just white clean, no changes, or?
You see,
I heard you made volcanoes and were blowing people up.
Yes.
Did you change time at all?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to see what that damn elephant's done. I get the feeling that he's affected all my work. But we'll just have to see what the future brings.
Oh well.
I really have to go now, I think.
Yes, right. Well, I suppose we'll let Paul get back to episode 1200 up in Birmingham, wherever he is.
Come on, John. Nothing else, at least I can listen to you. I've still got a job.
Can I have a copy of that sometime?
Have a bloody thing.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that bit of silliness. The next clip is from the same episode 1200, and features myself again. I was behind the camera most of the time, if not all the time, and even if I'm not there, I'm usually playing some other character. So this scene was filmed. The previous scene with Mr. Trowbridge was filmed in my parents' house. This scene is filmed in Crystal Palace in London, and we were out and about on location. And in this scene, my voice, I'm playing a troll. He looks like one of those gonks, but he appears in front of the camera, and all of the Sutton part tend to be from the point of view, sort of. If there was a puppet playing a character, you wouldn't see that the hand was up the puppet. You'd see you were meant to believe, like the Muppets, that these characters were real. And the great thing about the people I acted with was that everybody acted as if those characters were real, even if it looked tacky and silly, or everyone acted like, right, so that's the real character, unless occasionally they didn't. Sometimes that was part of the joke as well. Sutton Park could be whatever we wanted it to be. So here we are. This scene is between myself playing the troll, who hasn't got a name, he's just called Troll, and the other character he is talking to is played by Lee. Now, Lee played many characters in the series, lots of different disguises, baddies, goodies, but in this particular episode he is playing a character called Lee, who is the viewer of the series. He is literally that, because when I first started making my films, I didn't, it wasn't like today where you can stick things on YouTube. I did some editing, and I would send a tape. When I did an edited tape, I'd send it around various different friends. And Lee was one of the main people who first took an interest and watched the episodes I'd already made. Before he was involved, saw what I was doing and was like, I want to get involved with this. He was a very creative person, and he could ad lib, and he was good at stories, and he was good at props, and he was one of the best things about the show. And so was a bit of an in-joke that he was pretty much the only person who continued watching the episodes as I was making them. He never saw every single episode, because I never edited every single episode. But anyway, the idea that he was the viewer of the series, that became a character. So in this scene, Troll is talking with Lee about what's been happening in recent episodes, and the trouble that he finds being a viewer of the series and yet not being able to interact with some of the other characters to help them out. If Lee knows something about the story coming up, he can't tell my character, Paul, or any of the other characters what's going on. And again, this could mean something awful and drastic is going to happen. Oh my goodness!
Oh, hello. What are you doing around these parts?
Work's not easy these days. You know, I was doing that trollogram thing.
Yeah, sorry about that little incident with the,
Well, I was quite used to the job then. Ever since, work's been quite
Oh, yeah,
slow.
you gave up trollograms and went into Rent-A-Troll.
Rent-A-Troll, really. And that's a bit more. No, that's where I go, and it's still making troll.
What do you want?
Well, nothing much. I missed that whole. I tried to get in that whole circus, but it was here for.
I went in there.
You got in?
Yeah, I got in there.
I didn't. They saw me and they sent me out. They said,
I lost Paul. I know he's alright, I've seen some episodes since then.
Oh, yes.
But I know something that he doesn't know.
He was that person I was involved with. Paul, he was the one that I did the trollogram for, wasn't it?
Paul Chandler, it was the anniversary, so I got you to do that troll nonsense, and I got turned into a bench.
Yes, I don't know. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
yes.
I'm just sort of like sitting here, sort of staring off into the space, because I really need someone to talk to, about this.
Talk to me.
I've learnt something about something which could potentially be far worse than Azrael, and possibly even far worse than Katrina Hortensia.
Oh dear.
Something that I can't even put into words. All I know is that if Paul Chandler doesn't find out before they get their oar in, shall we say, it could be the end of us all. Azrael, Katrina,
Oh, come on,
Paul Chandler,
they always
me.
say that. They always say it's going to be the...
You don't understand. Look,
They always say this is going to be the most important thing.
you must have heard about the legends of the moon beasts of the planet Jeremy.
Yes, I think I have, yes.
Well, there's something to do with Azrael. In fact, there's something to do with the voice of Sutton Park and the very destruction of the planet itself.
But Azrael's hardly a force to be reckoned with these days.
That's my
always
point.
He's always working for good, but he's suddenly
That's my point. That's the point. You see, they know.
Oh.
They know, and now they're coming to get this planet.
And Azrael, I suppose.
And Azrael, they're gonna wipe everything off the face of the earth if they have their way. But I've got to tell Paul the full story.
I'll go and find him if I were you.
But he doesn't understand. You see, he can't hear the plots.
Oh, I see.
He can't hear.
Right.
When I say something about movies from the planet Jeremy, all that comes out of my mouth is
Oh yes, I know that. I've heard
exactly.
that. Yes, because
so what am I supposed to do?
It's only people who
If this applies to Paul Chandler as well, it applies to everyone else.
as you're outside the series, you're not allowed to actually input any
I
new plot
couldn't
lines, are you?
well, not in that sense.
in that sense,
I
not any
I couldn't give away plot
Yes,
lines.
yes.
I have learned that I can actually change the direction of the storyline if I wanted to,
Yeah.
but I can't explain other stories. Not unless I become a part of that story. But how can I when it's not yet happening? I've got to forewarn him.
Complex.
It's very complicated.
What about writing it down? I suppose you wouldn't better see it.
No, it's just your blank page. I've tried that with other people. I went round to Parkhurst's house. I tried to explain to him, but he just threw me out. I wouldn't mind, but he threw me out the third floor window.
Oh, it's nasty. Yeah.
It's no good. I'm going to have to try. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Try.
I've got to try and get the message through to him.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to have to see if I can get him on mutual territory.
Why don't we team up?
You, me,
Yeah,
me and
why don't we
you.
team up?
What's your name? I never really said that you're
Troll.
Troll.
I think so.
Is that it?
I think so.
It's not very original, is it?
No, it's not Troll. I don't know. I don't think I
I'll have to give you a name
Give me a
then.
name, okay. Just think, you don't have to think about it now. Let's go and talk about it. Come on.
I know. If we're going to meet Paul Chandler, it'll be on mutual territory, somewhere where they were not likely to find him or me. There'll be something that's been abandoned, ex-Sutton Park territory. Now, if I remember rightly, back of Love's Mazes, the Crystal Palace one's too obvious, especially after what happened recently. So how about the Hampton Court Maze? I'm sure Backup would have been using a place like that because it's so near to Mary.
I do hope this section of the episode hasn't been totally confusing. I just wanted to show you a bit of the silliness of Sutton Park, and you will hear me mentioning it, and other people I speak to will mention it, and the two clips I've shown in this episode, hopefully they don't represent what we did at all. They are just total random moments, but they show the sillier side of what we used to do, and the ad-libbing, and how you bat off each other, and you bounce off ideas, and it was great fun. Anyway, now we've got to talk to somebody else, and there'll be something else happening now. Yes, moving on. Well, next up, and at very short notice, due to the poor running of the local buses, meaning that Nick won't be able to join us, I have been able to get one of the original cast members of Sutton Park to, not quite an interview, it's more of a sort of thing. I just asked him to give his views, and no, this isn't one of the human cast, it's actually one of the robot cast, yes. So let's hear what Clive the Clock has to say about his time on Sutton Park back in the 90s. Yeah.
You want to know what it was like on Sutton Park? What, as one of the supporting characters? Yes, well, it could have been better, to be honest. I mean, it was fine if you were like an alien or a puppet or some such creature, but I can tell you, this was the 90s. Robotic clocks had no rights whatsoever. I mean, you might think those times, yes, times have changed. And, yes, but ask anyone, ask Kano off Doctor Who, or R2-D2, or C-3PO. They had it no better than I did. What was I? I was just a clock that talked. Yes, I just had to set the time. And yet they acted as if I was saying far more intelligent things than I was. I don't know why they didn't just get me to speak, but no, it was a stereotype. I was a clock, I had to sound like a clock, I had to speak like a clock. The time is 6:45am. The time is 6:45am. Oh really? Gosh, goodness, Clive, that's very, very exciting. That's what it was like. I don't mean to stick out a term, and I know that, I was acting and you were there and there were lots of other actors there, but you have to admit, things were better for you. I mean, people would buy you Mars bars or offer you cans of Coke or something, or you'd get some sort of food. Do you like your food? No. Oil about once every 6 months if I was lucky. So, I do remember once having to do some stunts, but were we trained? Was there a stuntman or a stunt clock to take over? No, there wasn't. Absolutely not. I had to do it myself. No wonder I wasn't on the show for about 6 months after that. It took that long to rebuild me. Otherwise I didn't just buy another clock. But, no, I mean, things on Sutton Park, it was very low budget. You have to remember this. Well, you're in it, but it was very, very low budget. Nobody got paid. I really don't know why we were doing it, to be honest, putting ourselves through that sort of thing. But I don't want to seem mean-spirited. I don't want to sound like I hated it, but I hated it most of the time. I really hated being on that show.
it was, you know, believe you me, I've done better things before and after, and I mean more high profile things. Think Shakespeare, you know. Yeah, I made a robotic clock, but I can do Hamlet like any other man. So, to be honest, things could have been a lot better for me. And what happened next? Well, once the show finished, I did find I was a bit stereotyped. You know, they were like offering me roles as, like, I got offered a role as a toaster on a sitcom. Not even a toast on the clock. I mean, well, apparently toasters have clocks these days, but you know, I did find it quite difficult to branch out. But I did my best. I really did. But it's not easy. It's not easy. And, you know, to be honest, it was a problem. And I just had to keep on going. But obviously, in the end, I spent a lot more of my career actually working as part of a group of nudists. Yes. Sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. I've totally lost the thread of what were you asking me? I'm sorry, this is one of the problems. This is one of the problems that I have. It's 20 years, 30 years later. I just very short concentration span. You ask me a question and I just completely forget everything that you've asked. And, what was it you asked me? Oh, what did I do after? I actually ended up working for Equity. It was easier being a manager representing other robotic actors than it was to be an actual actor myself. Because, you know, I couldn't play the Hoover roles, I couldn't be a washing machine, I couldn't be a microwave, I was a clock. And I spoke. And, no, things dated, you know, it really wasn't a very satisfactory time in my life. Actually, could be just why this interview down, please. Becoming a little bit upset. Sorry.
Well, thanks to Clive the Clock there. Didn't realise he was quite so scarred by acting and things with me. Oh, never mind. Well, now it's time for a poem. This one's called Never Trust a Skinny Fish and Chip Man. It's a very daft one. It's from my Kiss Me Quick EP, and it's a bit of a tongue twister to perform. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Never trust a skinny fish and chip man. Never trust a skinny fish and chip man. He should be 6'4", his muscles hard. His face should be a rosy coloured red too, and his arteries hold blood that's made of lard. Oh, never trust a skinny fish and chip man, 'cause you never know what he might have in store. No, you never know where he has stuck his sausage. If you see him eating salad, call the law. There's something odd about a skinny fish and chip man. He may batter you until you're black and blue. He may wee into your mushy pea container. Well, that's not a thing that anyone should do. So please do beware a skinny fish and chip man. He may worship you just like you are a god. But just be sure you realise when he snogs you that all the time he make-believes he's kissing cod. I hope you enjoyed that. We have something else coming up now. Moving on. Sometimes on the Shy Life podcast, I like to take some random films or perhaps albums from my vinyl collection and just peruse them, give them a little review, show them some love. I'd rather show some love than kind of slag something off, so I do tend to talk about things I like. Today I have something to review. It's a donut. Yes. I haven't been eating many cakes recently because I'm trying to lose some weight, but you know, it's Friday. Well, at least it's Friday when I'm recording this, and I feel I deserve a treat. So let me review the donut. It's round. It's not a ring donut. It's a full donut. It's got icing on it. It's got pink icing on it, and some little sort of, I don't know, strange bits on top of it. Red bits and some white bits. Yes, it's quite something. I really ought to take a photo of it, but I'm sure you know what these sort of donuts look like, and really a photograph doesn't work very well on a podcast anyway. So right, the only thing I can do now really is to sample the donut. Let me just do that. Yes. Well, I think there's some. It's quite sweet, as I expected. I think there's some sort of creamy stuff inside, white cream possibly, and but it's hard to see because I've obviously bitten the end of the donut where there wasn't much cream, so I'm going to have to eat some more of the donut just to see. So here we go with the second bite. Yes, it would appear on closer inspection that there is white cream and possibly a raspberry or strawberry jammy thing, sort of mixture of the two. It's quite a pleasurable experience, so I think I'm going to go for bite number 3. Well, a very pleasant experience that was, but I seem to have got jam and cream all over my fingers. I think as I bit in one end, stuff came out the other end. But you know, it's life. These things happen. Anyway, so I've only got one bite left. Yes, I've been taking quite big bites. I've got a big mouth. So here we go with bite number 4. That was quite a small bite, but so I've got jam and cream all over my fingers. Well, not anymore, I haven't. So, all in all, I can say that was a very satisfying experience. Just don't tell my doctor or anyone involved with the medical profession. Okay, right. Next time we'll probably review something less edible. Moving on. I wonder if I could get another one. We don't have any letters this time, but I do have a message from one of my Yeti relatives who wants to say hello. I'm going to play it to you now. Hello. It's your Yeti Uncle John here. I just thought I'd leave you a message because I heard you're doing a podcast now. It's very exciting. Well, it seems such a long time ago that you were just a little Yeti. I never know what to call you. Paul? Shy Yeti? Which one? Doesn't matter, I suppose. Whichever one you prefer. Well, yes, it's a very long time since I remember you when you were very small. You used to wet the bed a lot. Yes. Not ideal, but never mind. I hope you got over that now. Anyway, what can I say? I was listening to your episode from Amsterdam. I was sorry to hear that you got sick, but I was very interested by some of the bits that you recorded whilst you were in the zoo there at Amsterdam. Now, I don't know if you know it, but I am an animal language linguistics expert, and that's I'm actually a professor in that, and I was able to hear what some of the animals were saying in their natural language, and yeah, they were being quite rude about you. I don't know if you realise that, but anyway, I do hope that you are feeling a lot better now, and I look forward to hearing more episodes from you, and yes, I'm trying to think of a few more things to say, because I hear that you're lacking a guest this week, so I'm just trying to drag things out a bit to make the show go on longer. Did I mention that when you were a child you used to wet the bed a lot? Yes. Oh, I did, okay. Yes. It wasn't just number 2s. No, it was number 2. It was number 1s. It wasn't just number... Oh, anyway. Oh, well. I'm just going to go now. Nice to keep up the good work. And, yes, do keep up the good work. Goodbye. Well, that was very nice. Thank you for sending that in, Uncle. Yes, it's... Well, I'm terribly sorry, but we've still got no Nick, so we're just going to press on with the episode. If he doesn't appear this episode, then, you know, we'll get him on another show, but it will be good, because Nick was one of the key cast members of Sutton Park, and he's the one who's actually helping me sort of preserve all the old episodes. So I mean, there's lots of other things we have in common, lots of writing projects we've done with each other, and acting, and all manner of things, and we've known each other nearly 30 years, so I'm sure he's got lots of embarrassing stories. I was his best man. I mean I've got tales to tell myself, but oh dear, these buses, you can never rely on them. Right, well, moving on now to our music segment. Now, if you remember, a couple of episodes ago, I went to a record shop and bought some vinyl, and we talked about what I'd bought. Well, this time I thought I'd do a slight twist on that. What I've done is randomly selected 4 vinyl albums, and I don't even know what they are yet. I've put them underneath a sheet in front of me, and I'm going to pick them out. This way, I've got no way of sort of hiding the fact that I may have some embarrassing vinyl. I may not have bought it years ago either. Might have bought it more recently, so there's no excuse. But, well, let's face this together, shall we? Right, I'm reaching in now for the first of these albums, and I've coming up with right, well, this is an Elton John album. It's called Single Man. It's from the late 70s, I think. It doesn't have many hits on it. On the cover, he's standing on a road. He's all dressed up very smart. He's got a top hat on. I think he might be at somewhere like, I don't know, there's a castle in the background. I was going to say Windsor, but no, I'm not so sure. But how do I come to have this album? I think this is a random one I bought from second-hand shop in Woking many years ago. Not sure that I played it a great deal. I can't really speak that much about it. So we should move on to number 2. Hopefully slightly more interesting and revealing pick. Album number 2. Album number 2 is Madness, or an album by Madness. Absolutely. Now, this is from 1979. It's got Baggy Trousers on it, Embarrassment, Return of the Lost Palm 7. Again, it's a second-hand one that I bought when I was buying albums from that record shop in Woking many years ago, paying £1 or so for each. I mean, I like Madness anyway, so yes, I ought to play this one again. Now, I can't remember whether this would be... don't know if this probably wouldn't be their first album, it might be their second. But I'm actually, when it comes to Madness, I probably know more about the later albums than I do the early ones. As much as I like the early ones, I do tend to like, particularly with Madness, I like their later songs, because they sort of change style a bit about halfway through their career. I mean, obviously they're still going, but when I say their career, I mean their 70s and 80s career. I would say that my favourite Madness song is probably The Sun and the Rain, which isn't on this album, but it's from that sort of middle period. Okay, right, 2 more albums to come. Next one. Now this is probably slightly embarrassing, but I shall stand by it because I was actually quite fond of this band at the time. Okay, this was bought for £1 from that shop in Woking, which I don't think exists anymore. It was called the Musical Mystery Store. That's a good name for a shop. But you may notice I'm slightly pausing on what the album is. It's from 1988. It includes, well, the most famous track on it is probably called Secret Garden, if that gives you any ideas. I'm not actually sure that anything else on here was only the no, I'm not sure. Okay, well, I'll stop beating around the bush. This is an album called Rage, and it's by T'Pau, who did China in Your Hand and Heart and Soul. This is their second album. I came quite late to 80s music. Musically, my parents, the sort of people who probably have greatest hits collections. They're not real collectors of music. They got me into the Beatles and ABBA, and that, I always say, that sort of stood me good ground for. The Beatles got me into rock, and ABBA got me into pop. But yeah, I'm the sort of person who, I need to know more, I need to find out more, I need to kind of explore. But in the 80s, I was still exploring the Beatles and ABBA, and so it wasn't until the very late 80s that I actually started buying modern albums. And I don't think I got into... I did have a T'Pau phase, brief T'Pau phase, but it wasn't during their popular period. It was probably like 1991 when they did their third album. They had a hit on that, and then I probably bought the early albums then, having sort of, even though I wasn't buying 80s stuff, I was watching Top of the Pops, and I think somewhere I've got some picture discs from the third album, but I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure, because I don't really believe in that. I stand by anything in my record collection, but still, I'm sure that's yes, that's probably the most revealing of the 3 albums so far. So let's go for the final album now. Oh, well, you can tell these weren't very well shuffled. Another Elton John album. This is probably a more well-known one. Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. Yes. This is from 1975, but it doesn't say what's on it. So I'm going to have to take it out of its sleeve if I can, with one hand. Oh no, it opens up in the middle. Gosh, yes, there's all sorts of pictures in here, but that's not going to be much use on a podcast. So let's see what tracks there are. So, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, or I know that one. That pretty much the only real well-known track, I think. Better Off Dead, Writing, We All Fall in Love Sometimes, Curtains, that's a slasher film. Tower of Babel, Bitter Fingers, Tell Me When the Whistle Blows. Yes. Oh well, I don't know many of those tracks at all, except for Someone Saved My Life Tonight. This is obviously another album that I bought but haven't played a great deal. But yes. Well, I think I just about survived that little game. I may well do this again at some point, maybe with CDs, maybe with films. We shall see. Maybe with vinyl again. I was thinking of possibly future guests, particularly people I speak to on Skype, of maybe having, say, 6 questions and getting them to pick one number 1 to 6, and whatever number they pick is a particular set of questions or a particular question, or so they can't prepare too much. But we shall see. I say I've got quite a lot of different ideas, and we'll be changing out the format a bit over the next few episodes until we settle on some segments that we really think work. But yeah, it's good to change things around. Each episode will be slightly different from the last. But anyway, right, let's move on. There are other things to be done. I hope you enjoyed this little exploration into my vinyl past, as it were. Yes. Okay. Well, as usual, before we go, I have to ask Dealey what he thinks about the episode. Dealey, will you speak to me, please? What? Really? So is that better? Do you think we've improved? Oh wow, really? Oh, that's lovely. Yes, I'm so pleased. Have you kind of thought about marking scores? You always get shy when you record it, don't you? Will you tell me? Would you give me a view? Come on, Jules. We just want to know. Because that did sound like you were a bit more happy. Yeah? Speak. What do you think? Come on. Oh, he's gone all coy now. Let me see if I can get him. I'm playing peekaboo with him at the moment. You do realise that getting Dealey to comment on these podcast episodes is one of the hardest bits of the episode, because he starts to meow very early on, but then he goes really quiet. It's like when I take photos of him. He doesn't mind until he realises that's what you're doing, and then he turns his head, he won't look at the camera. But if he doesn't realise that's what you're doing, he'll pose, and cats, they're worse than humans. Peeking around the door now, seeing whether I can get a bit more meowing. This is behind the scenes. I'm recording Dealey for the podcast. You'd think it'd be easy, but no, not at all. Not at all. He doesn't speak to the microphone if he knows that's what you're doing. But if he's caught up in the moment, he'll talk away and nag you. Actually, this is probably a really good way to keep him quiet when I get home and he's like, meow, 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 nag, 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 nag. Look at me. And I'd love to look at him, but I just need to get my coat off, take my hat, put the kettle on. But, no. Of course, now I would like him to be talking. He's not saying a word, is he? No. That counts for you. Let's see if I can get him to do something now. Okay. Oh, really? I didn't know. Well, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased by that, Mark. We will improve, we will get better, but I feel like we've made some progress since the pilot episode. That seems to be what you're inferring. Well, this is me and Dealey signing out, and yes, hopefully there'll be more soon. Yes. Thank you to everyone who's been involved in this episode, and especially you, Dealey, with your lovely bowingness. No, that's it. Managed to get, it's like getting blood out of a stone, getting a meow out of this cat when you want him to. This is a lovely little cat. Now you're not going to speak at all, are you? I got everything that I need. What you don't realise, Dealey, is that I got plenty of other meows from other episodes, and I can just loop them round and round. I can have the same meow time and time again. I'm not giving away too many secrets there. I did that in episode 2, I think it was. We had parrots in episode 3. The parrots were really chatty and squawking. Yes, the parrots weren't like, speak to my agent before I make any comment. Huh? Yes, just think on, Deals. Just think on. We'll could find that there is another animal taking your place next episode. Yes. He's not looking too sure about that. Yes. Okay. But I think we're done here. Before I go, I'd also like to thank Andrew Trowbridge and Lee Freeman for acting in those episodes of Sutton Park 20 years ago, and for keeping me off the... Well, I can't say they kept me off the streets, because we often used to film on the streets, but you know what I mean. They kept Sutton Park going, and we had a lot of silly fun making that show.
Coming soon on the Shy Life Podcast, a tale of sinister sinisterness, yes, set in deepest, darkest Kent.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear my voice? I'm here. Beside you. Yes. Right beside you now. You do not see me. Do not try to look for me. I am just a voice. In your head, in your mind. I am communicating with you and only you, because you are special. I'm here, and I need your help. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I am the voice of the house. A ghost, if you like. If that is the way you prefer to think of me. Do not communicate with anyone. But I trust you. I know you. Oh yes, I know you. Shy Yeti. It is you I must speak to. You are the only one that I trust to speak to. You must wait for me. You must wait, and I will return. I will return, and I will bring you more information. I will explain what I need you to do. You must do this for me. You must. Only you, Shy Yeti. Only you can help me. Only you know how. I know that you are the only one, Shy Yeti, the only one who can help me. You must listen. Listen. Help me. Coming soon to the Shy Life Podcast. Well, not that soon, sort of like August, September time. I'm just starting mentioning now. Okay, sorry.
Thank you again to Clive, and also to Nick for, well, he did his best, and he will be back another time, I promise you. And yes, it was quite a busy show. He did lots of things. There was poems, there was donuts, there was lots of embarrassing vinyl and all sorts of bits and pieces, and a poem about fish and chips. What more can you want? Okay, well, thank you for listening, and I'll be back again soon. Here we go, music. Goodbye. Well, it's been a busy episode after all. Yes, lots of guests. Yeah, high quality. Well, now it's time for a poem. This is one from my Kiss Me Quick EP that I released earlier this year. It's called Never... What's it called? I've totally forgotten. I've got a big mouth.